Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Sierra Scott, Program Manager at Enactus Canada. Welcome to the final round of competition for our 2021 TD Entrepreneurship Project Idea Pitch, proudly presented by TD Bank Group. Please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from the University of Calgary.
Small businesses account for 95% of all businesses in Calgary. They are a driving force within the city's business community. But economically, Alberta has been one of the worst hit provinces, with 22% of Alberta's small business at a risk of permanent closure. We plan to focus on small local retailers and restaurants as they have been one of the hardest hit sectors of the small business community. So we created Better Business. We wanted to offer these businesses a handshake and not just a handout. First, Better Business combines fundraising, financial aid, and shop local into a much simpler process. Bigger corporations can put their charitable spending dollars in the hands of their customers who can use these charitable dollars like a gift card to support local small businesses. In doing so, our small business partners will earn some much needed revenue while the investing corporations increase their customer engagement through positive brand awareness. Second, we will assist our small businesses in adjusting their business model to changing conditions through student consulting services and allow them to take full advantage of the available COVID relief programs.
Financial institutions provide essential resources to support small businesses. We will partner with these institutions to provide support that is personalized to their needs. There are currently organizations like GoodPin, where they facilitate customers directing donations to certain charities. Organizations like this will be key partners as there's key similarities across our platforms. To implement Better Business, we will immediately reach out to small business retailers in Calgary and conduct a thorough needs assessment. We will then utilize our partners to build strong relationships with larger businesses in Calgary who are interested in this charitable strategy. After, we will launch the consulting aspect of the project where students will be trained to help our retailers access existing resources while also using their ideas to increase their organizational performance. And once this mentorship piece is operational, we will then launch the Better Business Cards platform. This is a reasonably lean project as funds will be going directly from larger corporations to the smaller retailers. Our initial budget will be around $1,000 to create resources, host educational events, guest speakers, and conduct research for our small business partners. Success is not just numbers to Enactus UC. Many small business entrepreneurs put their heart and soul into their ventures and will need support even after the pandemic. Through mentoring and consulting aspect of this project, our small business partners will have the tools that they need to tackle whatever situation comes their way and build lasting connections. By facilitating this charitable giving platform, we'll be able to track the number of transactions made, the number of customers who are directly involved, and the number of revenue generated as a result. No one has to go through this alone. So please help us do better business.
Your presentation time is now expired. It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the Zoom chat function. How will you execute this idea amid the pandemic?
So everything is going to be digitally. So we'll be building relationships with our partners and the mentors. So everything will be through Zoom and other channels such as email and things like that.
What is the purpose of rolling out the business gift cards? Who will sponsor them?
So this will be larger corporations in Calgary, so many of which want to make a difference in our community, and large and smaller businesses need the additional revenue just to get by. So we'll be partnering with the large corporations wanting to invest in the city.
How is the charitable donation process different from, for example, Uber Eats already offers?
So this is different as all of the money goes directly to the retailer. So this will be, and also the aspect of it is many people will be more encouraged also to go to these retailers. And in turn, aside from the gift cards, retailers will also get greater exposure to more clients.
How will this project have long-lasting impact on small business owners and Canadian entrepreneurs?
We'll be able to create lasting impact with our mentoring program. So by connecting our mentors or our delegates from the University of Calgary. With these businesses, we will not only be able to help them with the pandemic itself, but also prep them for any changing circumstances that might come in the future. So it's both now as well as long-term.
Could you please clarify how the financial aid works?
Yes, so the financial aid aspect of it is some of the revenues that are from the gift
Your
cards.
time has now expired. Please join me in congratulating the Enactus team from University of Calgary. Please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from Okanagan College.
Emily has been dancing professionally for over 10 years. This past year was the first time she was unable to practice her profession. As a result of COVID-19, her dance studio had to close. Over 461,000 small businesses like Emily's dance studio are at risk of closing permanently, putting over 2.9 million Canadian jobs at risk. But what if they didn't have to close? Our solution? The Local Experience Box.
The Local Experience Box is a monthly subscription box that is designed to provide revenues to businesses that have been negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. What makes our subscription boxes so unique is that they are about experiences, but with a local twist. Alongside tangible, locally sourced items and food, each box will feature access to exclusive events and experiences. For example, a box could feature locally sourced food, wine, handmade jewelry, and access to a virtual showing from an arts theater.
Enactus Okanagan College will purchase these goods and services directly from these businesses, helping them generate much needed revenue. Customers can either make a one-time purchase or can subscribe on a monthly basis at a discount. Businesses with intangible products and services, such as those in the arts or hospitality industries, can also generate a reliable source of revenue for their business because of this box. This project will raise revenues, helping businesses cover their expenses and support their employees without generating additional debt.
Each business participating in the Local Experience Box will know in advance how much of their product they'll need to supply. The project has limited financial risk, opportunities to scale, and the ability to generate a profit. We will secure 5 to 7 initial vendors to participate in each box. Each experience box will have 50 to 100 units for sale, which will increase with demand. As experience is central, we will develop box themes with items paired to specific community events, such as a theater night or Pride Month, which will either be live or pre-recorded. This model has low barriers to entry and is scalable during and post-COVID-19.
With a strong presence in our community, Enactus OC already has an existing network to leverage. Our focus is to partner with small businesses in industries such as wine, food, arts, theater, and more. Our sizable purchases of goods and services allows us to contribute to the success of our community. Small businesses such as Emily's Dance Studio are crucial to the Canadian economy. They fuel innovation, offer unique products and services, and drive growth. We're doing our part to keep as many of these small businesses open, and we invite you to join us on our journey.
Your presentation time has expired. It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the Zoom chat function. What is the biggest challenge you expect to face when implementing this idea, and how will you overcome it?
I think the biggest challenge that we expect to face is just the initial rollout of it. So that would just be marketing and spreading the word and just getting the businesses involved with it. But that's a hurdle that we expect to just incur just within the first round or two. But after that, we expect that challenge to be diminished as awareness is raised and more people know about the box.
Could you please provide an example of what the dance studio can put in the box? Is the revenue split evenly amongst all box participants?
So an example would be the dance studio could do a special event that's exclusive only to people who have purchased the box. So people would get the box delivered, it would have some goods in it, and then also they would have access to a special viewing that the dance studio would put on. That can be pre-recorded or that can be live, and people who have purchased the box are the only ones who have access to that viewing. And the revenues, we would purchase that service originally, so we would buy tickets from them, and then we would surcharge a little bit more when we sell the boxes to cover the cost of that profit and to ensure that the business is getting a substantial revenue.
What is the price range for each box?
Our boxes range from $99 to $249.
Do you anticipate IDEA will help for small business clients to get all the way back to where their revenue was prior to the pandemic?
While we don't anticipate this covering all pre-COVID revenues, we do think this is going to be a significant contributor to the success of the business, especially as some of the businesses we hope to support will have had no revenue over the past couple months.
Your time has expired. Please join me in congratulating the Enactus team from Okanagan College. Please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from Acadia University. You may now begin your presentation.
Thank you, Sierra. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jacob Hosine, and joining me today is Adam Ferguson and Brogan O'Brien, and we are Project Wedge, an app that helps connect conscious consumers to small businesses within the area.
We would first like to begin by acknowledging that we are situated on the unceded and ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people.
Today, entrepreneurs across the country are facing massive challenge of COVID-19 and the possible closure of their small businesses permanently. Wedge aims to provide a platform for customers of small businesses to purchase local goods and have them delivered to their door or picked up curbside, with payment methods securely provided through the app.
Wedge is innovative because it is the way of the future. Connecting small businesses with technology gives them resources that they may not be readily available to them, and a widespread audience that puts them literally on the map.
Wedge will allow for businesses to connect with their customers in ways that only large corporations currently have the resources to do. Purchasing habits and data will be made available for a fee to businesses to access what other gaps they could be addressing for their customers.
We've worked out the numbers to get this project off the ground, and to build a product that's functional, we found we'll need $20,500 to get started, with a $300 charge per month to host the app and website on Amazon's web services.
Our intended impact is to help not only small businesses, but your average consumer, by allowing them to have convenient access to small business locations, services, and products, with an intended outcome of increasing awareness and ultimately profitability for small businesses during these trying times.
This app will benefit the small businesses that were affected by COVID-19 and allow for them to have an opportunity for increased exposure that a Google search just cannot replicate. Businesses such as restaurants have certainly been heavily affected by the pandemic and have been constantly pivoting. But what about the small retailers, the service providers? Wedge will provide these small businesses an additional resilient layer to a crucial sector for our economy.
We plan to implement a pilot program of Wedge in the Halifax Regional Municipality and Annapolis Valley areas before expanding further. This will allow us to test the functionality of Wedge while keeping a close eye on traffic, feedback of the app, and overall revenue generation from these areas.
We hope that the introduction of Wedge, we will receive the attention of small businesses and regional organizations that will promote and put Wedge on the map within the small business sector.
Next, we will do extensive research to pinpoint the costs of the GPS and route mapping systems to ensure they fit within the budget and implement them into our softwares.
We will then reach out to a list of small businesses within a certain geographical range in the Halifax Regional Municipality and Annapolis Valley regions. Given the negative impacts of COVID-19, we hope that the small businesses will appreciate the exposure and help advertise the app through word of mouth.
We are Project Wedge, keeping
Your
local
presentation
stores
time
open.
has expired. It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the Zoom chat function. How is this tool different from tools already on the market? For example, Ritual, Uber Eats, Corner Stop.
So unlike Uber Eats, through prior research while developing Wedge, we noticed that they take up to 30% cuts on delivery orders and up to 15% on pickup orders, while we're it's more of a survival strategy for us rather than the growth strategy. So we're looking at close to like 6% to 10% cuts just to keep the app operating.
And we're also not limiting our market only to restaurants and other providers like that. We're looking to services, retailers, products, the entire range of small businesses as well.
What is the expected customer base to break even?
We're mainly targeting those who already do purchase local, but may have a convenience factor that stops them from doing so. So we're going to have to take over a bit of the marketplace for people who are buying grocery goods on Amazon, for instance, or other items that are just a convenience factor. So that's a huge part of the market that we're trying to reach with this strategy, is to get those same people to instead purchase local while it's still being convenient.
Yeah, and we want to kind of capitalize on the new kind of what you see in the news, the new trend to shop local, support local. We see a lot more people these days trying to be a part of that kind of global movement.
What would be required to scale beyond one market?
If we're talking about geo like locations, like expand further than Halifax, it would probably just be a solid customer base to start, just so we can kind of scale the project and see what needs to be fixed.
Your time has expired. Please join me in congratulating the Enactus team from Acadia University. Please join me in welcoming the team from University of Windsor. You may now begin your presentation.
Welcome to Invest Us at City Thrive, a project run by Enactus Windsor. My name is Tapas and I'm joined here today with the City Thrive team. Over the past few years, we have noticed that small businesses either get really lucky with their success and can create a lasting impression in the community, or them and their idea can dwindle away as quickly as it was formed. Invest Us is dedicated to aiding businesses across all industries and all stages affected by COVID-19 and is committed to fostering a community of supporting local by successfully connecting investors with local entrepreneurs seeking investments. Businesses applying to Invest Us must be working towards creating a systemic change and have a sound business plan. We plan to reach out to viable businesses by City Thrive's contacts from social media, as well as the existing network of their website. We are providing the flexibility of applying for a loan or receiving an investment in the form of a convertible note through our program. Furthermore, this initiative is self-sustainable, as the project will continue to reinvest in different businesses after receiving majority of its returns from its initial investments.
As for our resources, Enactus Windsor is soon to be registered nonprofit, which has a board of directors and an advisory council consisting of Enactus alumni and industry professionals. These members can help Invest Us overlook and approve of technical and legal processes. Both the Enactus Board of Directors as well as the University of Windsor offer a strong network of potential investors, including alumni, professors, and students. Lastly, City Thrive's existing entrepreneurship program can be used to aid businesses in improving their business plans so that they can be better prepared for joining Invest Us.
City Thrive has plans to capture the competitive advantage and broaden our market over other companies in this industry. In the first 6 to 8 months, we invest most of our finances towards market development and acquiring few clients. By 12 months, we diversify to various businesses. The convertible note's effectiveness will allow us to capture the market to focus on the client's business goals. We are confident that within 16 months, we will reach our goals through resilience and commitment and impact these businesses striving for belief and investment.
Our budget is separated into two 6-month segments, each loaning to 2 businesses that meet our and your requirements, totaling a minimum of $7,750 for one business and a maximum of $22,750 after 4 business loans. Each business we partner with will add $5,000 to the budget, and our current revenue model includes receiving a fee for each transaction that happens through Invest Us, determined on a per investment basis.
Many small businesses are facing financial distress due to COVID-19. Invest Us will provide these businesses with an easy alternative to commercial financing to get them much needed capital. The entrepreneurs will be able to learn valuable practices from the investors to come up with creative ways to pivot. We'll measure success through the portion of returns we receive that will be cycled back into the program. Here at Invest Us, we can provide small businesses the funds to continue their operations, but most importantly, give them the confidence to keep striving. Thank you.
Your presentation time has expired. It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the Zoom chat function. How will you select businesses to invest?
So for that question, we have an advisory council that we're learning from at the moment, and they're teaching us some of their best practices. Members on this advisory council, they're professional commercial bankers. They're also chartered accountants. They also have experience in legal aid and things like that, and they obviously come from a diverse quality of background. And they're providing us like on a monthly basis on some of their best practices that they use, and we We look forward to implementing those best practices when choosing which business is viable to do so.
Could you clarify where your initial capital is coming from?
The initial capital is coming from a lot of fundraising and community-based grants like this.
Who exactly is providing the capital?
Exactly. Lucas, you want to jump in here?
So for our initial investments, the ones that we will be loaning out to businesses, those will be provided through these grants, and other grants and other loans that we will be getting are going to be coming from either students, alumni of Odette, faculty members, and anybody in our throughout our channels that we have been able to inform about this program and would like to invest in these small businesses that we either pair with them or they choose themselves through
Adding on to that, sorry to cut you off there, Lucas, but as we said earlier in the presentation, we're in the process of becoming a charitable organization, and that will open up an entirely different revenue stream to accept donations from from community level businesses as well as organizations outside of the Windsor Essex community.
What will differentiate this process from competitors?
What will differentiate us from competitors?
Time has expired. Please join me in congratulating the Enactus team from University of Windsor. Please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from St. Clair College. You may now begin your presentation.
Let thy food be thy medicine. We all witnessed firsthand how crucial local restaurants were for us to survive during COVID-19. At the same time, we saw a renaissance as friends and family began imagining their lifelong dream, making their food business a reality when the opportunity of the pandemic provided them. However, many of these entrepreneurs begin their operations outside of necessary legal guidelines. Personal kitchens are not considered suitable if someone wants to sell products to the public, and the majority have no food safety training. Meanwhile, licensed restaurant kitchens remain idle, dependent on variable foot traffic and food delivery apps to pivot to our new normal. These changes are not sustainable for profit, let alone growth. Welcome to CookShare. Our project aims to connect existing licensed food facilities with starting food business entrepreneurs. By connecting struggling restaurants with new entrepreneurs, both will be able to generate income while fostering cross-promotion, forging the relationships that form the foundation of any thriving business community. First, we'll connect with new entrepreneurs through our campus alumni association, small business centers, and neighborhood business associations. Next, we'll host a virtual orientation, including speed networking, where each respective group will be paired with someone from the alternate group. If they find a connection, we then arrange a fee and schedule for new business owners to use space, while also providing support and mentorship to both parties. The existing restaurant generates income by renting the licensed kitchen, while the new business owner generates income directly from their products. Through a monthly membership fee of $50, small business entrepreneurs gain access to our network and industry experience to help them navigate the challenges of starting their own food business, as well as exclusive sales opportunities and the support of our e-commerce website. We will also provide members access to food safety training, a fundamental starting point in working in this industry. By providing this training, we can ensure product integrity, reduce liability, and directly invest in the knowledge of our entrepreneurs. Our initial project budget includes a ProZoom account to connect digitally with business owners, as well as the estimated cost for website development and hosting, which will all be used to promote our associated businesses. Our budget also includes the 5-year National Standard Food Safety Certificate, valued at $55 per person. Our targeted business owners will explore support in all forms through direct access to facilities and mentorship. Direct measurement of success will be reflected in revenue generated by both affiliated parties, as well as the number of businesses directly impacted by our program. Not only do we have immediate demand for the service, but we can scale this concept into other industries, such as cosmetics. By fostering collaboration and innovation, we at Enactus St. Clair are feeding the spirit of entrepreneurship.
Your presentation time has expired. It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the Zoom chat function. How is this solution different from Ghost Kitchen?
So Ghost Kitchen in particular, what we find is that when the new entrepreneur, there's a bit of a power dynamic, especially for a lot of our target audience, where they're just starting home cooks, they've cooked all their lives. They're intimidated by the concept of industry experience. So that when they go directly to a ghost kitchen or they go directly to the restaurant themselves, there's a bit of a power dynamic. They're not sure what questions to ask, what they're able to ask even. So being us in the room and with our connections, not only have we filtered through restaurants that are really looking to foster the relationships and cultivate this project's inner philosophy, but also that there's an actual discussion where it's an equal playing field for all involved.
How do you plan to find the right matches?
The right matches, especially we actually already have people who've asked us about this project, especially as far as facilities that we want to go to. We have like local cultural clubs as well. They have massive facilities that are completely empty because of COVID right now, but they've got all of this equipment, they've got space, they're willing to take on our entrepreneurs. And I personally have worked with almost 20 food businesses since June and worked with 2 yesterday that want to add to my portfolio because there's so much demand and this is a fundamental problem that all of them are facing.
Once restaurants begin to open again, how will kitchen access be managed?
At the same time, again, it's really establishing that communication aspect and having a relationship. Because even say I have a restaurant that opens in the evenings, I'm just going to adjust my availability and say, hey, can you come in between like 6 a.m. and 12 p.m.? I have someone who comes in at 1 to prep. We'll still be able to communicate that. If for whatever reason the match still doesn't work, we're going to be able to partner them with another facility to be able to maintain that ongoing commitment to the entrepreneur.
Your time has now expired. Please join me in congratulating the Enactus team from St. Clair College. Please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from Carleton University. Your presentation will now begin.
Hi, everyone. Over the past year, more than a quarter of small businesses have seen a 40% decrease in revenue, and about 50% of small businesses with up to 4 employees have completely shut down. Due to this, we can see that COVID has shown that the retail environment needs a new and innovative approach to reconnecting with consumers. This is where Localia steps in. The future of promoting and empowering local small businesses by connecting them through niche markets using the subscription box model. The subscription box industry is a $5 billion industry, yet over the past few years, it has become increasingly predictable, unsustainable, and in fact, depersonalizes consumerism. Localia steps in to change that by allowing users to pick their local city, the items that they would like to purchase, and the aesthetic that they're going for to create a more intentional approach to consumerism. Our unique AI algorithm allows taking the user's input data and translates that into a buying experience that allows every step of the buying process to be an experience, keeping that surprise of the subscription model, while at the same time allowing users to know who they're helping and exactly what products are being beneficial to their lives. Localia impacts our target community, which are sustainable and climate-friendly businesses, by providing them with an online market space that guarantees a niche and dedicated consumer base that will continue to bring in repeated revenue due to the nature of the subscription box model, which continues on a monthly basis. The app will start out with launching a limited amount of boxes in batches, which creates an aura of exclusivity around the launches, attracting a larger consumer base online. At the same time, we work personally with brands to create an online presence around the Gen Z aesthetic, because Gen Zs are the largest group of consumers that are growing over the past few years, and their commitment to sustainability and intentionality exactly replicates the values that Localia is going for. We have a 7-step implementation program, which focuses on research and design, then taking those findings into a minimum viable product, turning that into an algorithm, and then manufacturing those boxes at the same time. We will then have a phase 1 launch where we start with 100 boxes and 100 businesses in Ottawa to organically grow our base and help each community one at a time. We will then go into phase 2, which increases the number of businesses.
Your time has expired. It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the Zoom chat function. Is the strategy here to provide resources to help businesses evolve, or more of a platform/marketplace to execute their vision?
Localia allows for businesses to do both. By connecting them directly with the consumers that believe in their values, they are able to see the consumer feedback and engagement to improve their strategy and process over the years, and at the same time have a marketplace so that they can immediately have those purchases conducted. This allows for the businesses to not only grow over a period of time, but also have launches and build a community in real time. Localia hopes that eventually, after we grow to a larger number of cities, social component to our app. We can add a social component to our app, which allows for communities to actually be present and engage with brands on the spot, creating a one-stop shop for sustainability, intentionality, along with social media.
Why would a customer pick a subscription box over purchasing individual items outside of Localia?
After talking with individuals in the community, we have seen that though people aspire to work with sustainable businesses, change their consumer habits, it's hard to find all those places in one spot. In fact, as people have different tastes, as the seasons change, so do people. And Localia allows for all your tastes and your wants to be in one place and align them with businesses that agree with you. On top of that, we are using the subscription box model to turn the buying process into an experience. And after a year of COVID, where everything feels so depersonalized, we want to change the retail environment and make it more intentional, but also sustainable, so that we are just not going out there and forcing you to buy, but instead see what products you want. And every month you
Your time has expired. Please join me in congratulating the Enactus team from Carleton University. That was our final presentation. Congratulations to all teams.